Hello, I have returned from the abyss and I am here with a new video. Today we're going to be going over the books I read in March and April. No, April and May. I'm so sorry. In April and May, I really hit a book slump. Probably the worst book slump of my entire life, my entire reading career, but I read 9 books within 2 months. I did read a lot of ARCs, I read a lot of good books, I read some I didn't like, so I'm gonna tell you all about that right now. My name is Andrew. If you don't know me, you should subscribe. We have a lot of fun here, and let's just get started with these books. All right, so taking it back to April, the first book I read in April was Magnolia Parks. I had heard so many things about Magnolia Parks and I didn't know what to expect, but it definitely wasn't what I got. I really thought I would love that book. I was here for the angst and the drama because it's about 2 characters. Well, it's about a couple characters, but the main 2 is this couple. It's Magnolia Parks and this guy, and they have this on again, off again kind of relationship, and they are super toxic. It's just super angsty, super drama filled, and I do love that. I appreciate it for all of that. But overall, the characters just started to get on my nerves. It was really repetitive. I'm sorry about these like sunlights, but it just didn't really end up working for me, so I gave it 2 stars, and I will most likely not be continuing with the Magnolia Parks universe. Next, I read an ARC. It was Not Here to Be Friends, and it was about these 2 characters who they used to be really good friends. The guy moved away, so the girl decides in the summer she is gonna go up to LA and she's gonna go meet with her old best friend, and he gets a summer job working on a film set for a reality TV show. And while he's there, they are having contestants. It's kind of like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. So they have like a bachelor guy, and then these other teens are gonna compete to get to go out with him. And so the main guy we're following is just working on set, but there is, you know, the bachelor, and then his friend that comes, the main girl, she ends up getting pulled into being a contestant when they are 1 person short. And so they both are best friends, but they're kind of dealing with not seeing each other for a long time, and now there's all these feelings, and they're older and they look different, and there's just a little bit more going on underneath the surface. And on top of that, while they're trying to figure out their feelings, she is a contestant on this Bachelor-esque show. And it was great. It was really great. I gave it 4 stars. I really loved it. I think you should check it out. It was so fun. If you like reality TV, you will like this, because it was exactly like that, just like behind the scenes of it, and it was just so fun. It was a fun read. Then I read another ARC, which was Viva, Lola, Espinosa. I gave this one 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite. This one is about Lola Espinosa. She ends up failing her Spanish class in high school, and her parents are like, you know what? You're gonna learn Spanish. You're gonna go to Mexico. You are Mexican, or we have a lot of family in Mexico. We need you to learn it because we're not gonna have this. And honestly, like, I really loved all of that aspect. I loved all of the Mexican culture in it, because obviously I'm Mexican. Obviously there's not a lot of books out there that focus on Mexican characters, and so it was really fun. It did just fall short for me because it didn't move fast enough. Like, it wasn't fast paced, and I felt like there was a lot of ways to go deeper and to have fun with the story. But I feel like when she got there to Mexico with her grandma, there was a lot of characters introduced, which is typical because Mexican families are big, like, I know. But they were just very surface level. Like, none of them had any complexities, and then she meets a couple characters outside of her family, and I would have kind of rathered it focus on some familial ties and stuff like that. But it definitely wasn't a bad book. It was still good. It was right at 3 stars, so right in the middle for me, but I wouldn't necessarily read it again. Then I read My Roommate is a Vampire, and I really liked this one. This one is about a girl who can't really afford her rent situation, so she ends up going on Craigslist and looking for anybody that is having a cheaper rent available, and she finds this one guy who has this amazing apartment, this amazing view, this amazing location, all for $200 a month. And she's like, this is kind of sketchy, but also this could be what I need. Like, this is great. This is a blessing. So she goes and she lives with this stranger, and it turns out her new roommate is in fact a vampire, but she doesn't know. And so going through the book and seeing her finding out how and what this guy is all about is really funny. And I feel like it was also just a good, fast-paced, lighthearted romance. It just wasn't taking itself too serious, and I really appreciated that. And even though the ending was just not my favorite because I felt like it was rushed, and then it kind of went into this, like, I don't know, kind of not a plot twist, but it just went in a different direction and I didn't expect it. And I wasn't mad at it. I was just like, huh, there's a lot of stuff we could have did with this that the author didn't, but I also understand because it's a romance, you got to wrap it up. Like, we're not going into the vampire lore in the book, we're going into the romance, but one of the love interests happens to be a vampire, and that is a perfect way to explain it. Okay, so then I read Ever Since, and I was sent this copy by Penguin Teen. Thank you so much, Penguin Teen. I got the actual physical hardcover copy rather than just the ARC paperback. But Ever Since by Elena Brusas just came out last month. It is so good. I gave it 5 stars. It's one of my new favorite books. It's similar to The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith, I think it is the author. If you've read that one or you know about that one, this one is also like that. We're following our main character, whose name is Virginia. She is a girl of a lot of rumors. A lot of people talk about her. She does make bad choices. She does things that she maybe shouldn't do, and she knows that, but she does it anyway, fully knowing that she shouldn't, and that's just how she is. And there's so many things in her life that have led her to this. This book does a really good job of breaking down the sexual assault, sexual violence trauma for young girls. That is exactly what it does, and that's our main character has dealt with sexual assault when she was younger. There are other characters in this book going through some things as well. When Virginia starts to believe a very young girl in her life is falling into the same type of child predator sexual assault that she went through, she decides she wants to do something about it. And most of the book is her trying to kind of find the strength to say something, which is not anything she had ever done before. So it's not a happy read, it's not super lighthearted, but it does get into a topic that's not openly discussed that I feel like should be, and it does it so well, and it's still good. There's still some moments that are happy and some things in it that are just entertaining as well. But overall, I think it's just a solid book. It does such a good job at what it was meant to do, and I loved it. Next, I had finished Morningstar by Pierce Brown, and this was part of my reread. I am getting behind. I am behind. I need to reread Iron Gold still, and then Dark Age, and then Lightbringer comes out in July. But Morningstar was of course a 5-star. It is the 3rd book in the original Red Rising trilogy that wraps up the first kind of series that if you wanted to stop you could, but if you want to go deeper into the world and you want to venture into that, you also could move on to Iron Gold, and it's like you're doing it at your own risk. And that's like exactly how I feel. I'm always kind of regretting, maybe what if I would have stopped at Morningstar? Like, my life could be so much happier, but I've already passed it. I've already passed the line, so I have to keep going. But Morningstar is just so good. I love it. Of course, I talk about Pierce Brown and Red Rising all the time. I'm a little bit mad at Pierce Brown right now because he released his Lightbringer tour and he's not coming to Texas. So I feel like this year has been a little bit ruined for me, but you know what? It's okay. It's not meant to be. I'm not meant to meet Pierce yet, but I will one day. Then I read Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert, and this one I gave it 3.75, so it was almost a 4-star, and it wasn't a 3. It was still really good. It was so cute, and that one followed 2 kind of rival academic teens. They're both super smart, and they used to be friends, but then they had a falling out, and they're going through high school. What I like about Talia Hibbert is that she does a great job of incorporating a lot of different representation. So both of the characters go into deeper things. For example, in this book, it deals with a lot of like anxiety and OCD and things like that. So I like that she goes into those things because it just works. It's good. It makes the characters more normal and more real. And so when these characters go into the woods on a kind of academic excursion type of thing to win a scholarship, they are rivals in it because they both want to win the scholarship, but they're also realizing that they are not so bad and they used to be best friends for a reason, and maybe there is still some words and some love between them that they need to uncover. And it was such a good book. So cute. Loved it. The only downfall and why I gave it 3.75 was because I feel like it didn't have as many cute moments as some of her other romances did, and I think that is of course probably because it's YA, so there's gonna be a little bit difference. Like, you have to take your time on certain other things. You can't just have it just be like romance, 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 and I get that. But I still wanted a little bit more of those cute moments, and when we got them, I was like, yes, like swooning, I loved it. But then while I was trying to get to those moments, you know, it was few and far between. My legs hurt so bad from sitting in this chair right now because I'm not tall enough. But all right, let's keep going. I have them all written on this sticky note because I'm a professional booktuber here. All right, Isle of the Gods, oh, by Amy Kaufman. Oh my god, so good. Probably my favorite read within these past 2 months. So that one I gave 5 stars. It was so good. It is a new fantasy book that should be on everybody's radar if you like fantasy. I loved the world building. I love the characters. Basically, in this book, this world has a bunch of different isles and islands, and they're all ruled by different gods, and there is this older lore about everything and how there was a fallout between the gods, how there's one mother over all the gods who kind of delegated powers to each one. Our main character is always on the sea. Her father is a sailor, he is a merchant. He's always been on the go. He's been on the seas and left her in the care of somebody else to pretty much raise her. And she struggles with wanting to be with her father and trying to prove herself to him. So she gets herself caught up in this giant scheme where she has to deliver the prince to the Isle of the Gods, which is where he has to do a quarterly sacrifice. So every 25 years, one person from the prince's family needs to go and make a sacrifice at the Isle of the Gods. The only thing is, this prince skipped a year. This prince waited a little too long and set up every 25 years. They are now on the 26th year. And that off timing might just be what ruins everyone, the entire world. So, you know, that is what our prince character is like. He would rather party and do some other things than go make his sacrifice for his family and for all of the people. But hey, I still loved him, okay? He is still great, and I loved all the cast of characters, and I loved being on the sea in the world and the setting. I think it was so fun, and it was just written so good. I think Amy Kaufman is a really great author, and I will read the second one. I want to read anything that she writes because it was just that good. All right, these sun rays are trying to literally ruin my video. So last book is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I have it right here. I gave it 4 stars, and I am really surprised. Like, I did not expect to like this book at all, really, but I did enjoy it. We are following Nora and Charlie, who are in the publishing world. So Nora is an agent, Charlie is an editor. They love books. I like books. I love to read books about books. So this was kind of perfect, even though I thought I wasn't gonna like it. I was pleasantly surprised, okay? The way that the characters really did kind of fall for each other was a little bit unique to other romances. I feel like Emily Henry isn't just like specifically romance. Like, she does have some more seriousness in the book, and it's not always just like rainbows and romance. It is serious topics, and there was a plot with her sister who was pregnant and she had some issues going on in her life, so they decide to escape to Sunshine Falls and get a little vacation going on, and that's where Charlie is also there. And so we find out why Charlie was there and how these two keep gravitating to each other, and they really did. And I feel like what I really liked about it was that it did feel effortless. It didn't feel forced, the romance. So that was my favorite thing about it, and I couldn't lie, it was pretty good. Okay, that is the 9 books I've read. It wasn't that much, but I've been sitting here for 20 minutes, so maybe it was. But I'm gonna hope to get back on track on my reading and read a little bit more than what I did. I want to get back on track. It would make me happy. So if you read any of these books, let me know down below, or tell me what have you been reading in April and May, because I haven't been talking to you guys that much. So let me know. Let's chat about some books in the comments. But if you want to follow any of my social media, it will all be linked down below, as well as some ways you can help support the channel. But that's it. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Know that, baby, I'm never on your mind, and it don't matter how hard we try, 'cause you're never on my mind.